My name is George Washington.
Young Washington. Man, I wasn't sure what to expect with this movie. I hadn't seen a trailer. I maybe saw a clip or two before coming into it, but I walked out of the theater more confident that Angel Studios will deliver better content in the future. As I walked into this, I was expecting the movie to be more like Lincoln. I don't know if you've seen Lincoln, but it's 3 hours of just boring dialogue, honestly. I didn't enjoy it that much. Maybe some people did who are into that kind of thing, but it wasn't my cup of tea. No pun intended. We have two big actors in this movie, Ben Kingsley and Andy Serkis. They don't play big roles in this movie, but what they do play are good supporting roles for the main character, who is William Franklin Miller. I think the story was great, especially going into more detail of how Washington, before the Revolutionary War, brought up his status of being a military leader. It's a great underdog story with Washington going through a lot of failures and then finding out that he can actually lead at the end, where he is able to rally his troops in the final battle and get them to support him in the coming fight. Something that I didn't know was going to happen was how much action it was going to provide. Man, this movie had, I think 10 battles at least being put to film, and each choreographed fight scene was great. The warfare within each battle was well thought out, well executed, and it made you feel like you were in the Revolutionary War itself. And so walking into this, I don't think that I was ready for the action that was then to be played in the movie. So I had different expectations. I had not that many expectations, but then I was kind of comparing it to a different period piece about a different president. So, blown out of the water, everything. It was great. It was a good movie, and I would definitely suggest it. I think the film industry has run low on period pieces lately, so this was a good time or even chance to put young Washington in, especially when it's America's 250th birthday. Go us. The action was on point. The underdog story of Washington and the rise in ranks was a great story to be a part of. It made me want to root for him even more, and I definitely had an appreciation of him as a president, going through the trials that he did because he wanted to be in the military. He gave his all. He supported his other troops. He even didn't take pay because of his troops. They weren't getting pay, and so he requested that he don't get pay either. So just think about a high officer not getting paid because his troops aren't getting paid. Pretty wild stuff, if you ask me. So a great story, heartfelt. The sets, the environments, I think were amazing. You could tell that there were some VFX shots because you can't always put colonial buildings in a new modern setting. Either way, the sets that they did have, the environments, the grassy plains, the trees, the forests, whatever they were able to make natural or use naturally instead of putting in visuals, I think they did an amazing job with that. It was fun to see America way back then, especially in the time of young Washington, and I just loved it. I loved the ice sequence that happened. I loved the fights that were happening within the forest, outside of the forests, on the plains. It was all spectacular, and I am a big fan of that. One thing that did stand out to me, though, is the writing. Now, I know it's Angel Studios. They're a bit smaller budget studio, so I'm not expecting too much in terms of writing quality. However, there is an expectation to be had, and I know it can be tough writing Americans speaking the past language and how it was spoken. It's a bit difficult, and even I have difficulty reading it from books way back then. So, I can see the trouble with that. However, the delivery could have been a little bit better if you ask me. All in all, still great acting, still great action, still great environment, and something I would definitely recommend seeing. If you haven't seen Young Washington, it's good to see.